Hello, hello. To stretch or not to stretch? That is the question with a hypermobile body. Of course, it will, number one, be different for everybody. Some people love it and it's really effective for them. Some people try stretching and it feels good in the moment, but then maybe the next day, maybe a few hours later, it just makes everything worse. So, how can we find a balance and why do we even need to stretch? Stretching something that feels tight for your body, well, that tightness means that the muscle is contracted and is trying to hold the body together. We can think about stretching in two ways. A passive stretch, where you are lengthening the tissue. Say I'm stretching the front of my shoulder. I'm just leaning against the wall, putting my arm out, and I definitely feel a stretch there. But it's a little bit too much for me to have my hand that far back with my thoracic outlet syndrome in my shoulder there. But it definitely felt good for a moment, but I know I might be paying for it a little bit later because it just adversely affected not only my nervous system, but those muscles that were trying to hold the arm in the joint. Now they're in this lengthened position, which feels precarious and scary to them, let's say. So with passive stretching, that's what often happens. If you're just in a position for a long time, it's like you've got an elastic band and you're just holding it, you're pulling it apart for a long time, and it can get weak in the center, and then we can get damage or other reactions. For some people, it works totally great. If you would like to stretch and do more of an active stretch, then I recommend with hypermobility using a resistance band. So that, number one, your body has some feedback, your brain has some proprioceptive feedback about where your limb is in space, but also so that your muscles and tissues are reacting to load, but also lengthening. We're just trying to lengthen the tissues as we move and as we hold in that position. So my muscles are tight here because my shoulder is often rolled in because I like to read my books and pet my kitty cat, as we know. So I want to lengthen the front of the shoulder, but I don't want to just pull it back and hold it there. That's a little too much for my brain and my body. So I'm going to use my resistance band. Normally my position, say, is like this. Then I'm going to just open up the range of motion a little bit, pull the band apart, and just hold for a couple of breaths. And I can feel not only some opening here, but some work happening at the back of my shoulder. So now I'm getting a little more out of my stretch. And then if that feels good after a few days, doing that a few times, making sure my breath feels kind of gentle and my body feels fairly relaxed, even though it's working, then I can widen my hand out to the side and pull a little bit more and breathe. Make sure everything else is staying stable. And then I'm holding it there. And then I'm relaxing. And progressively, slowly, step by step, I'm widening that range of motion. But I've got the resistance band to make it more active for my body, to give my brain more feedback about where my limb is in space, about what's happening with my muscles and tissues. And I get more out of it without adverse symptoms. But definitely start at your smallest range of motion. Do a couple of repetitions, see how you feel that day or the day after, and then slowly begin to add more, and it's going to make a huge difference to your stretching. Let me know how this goes in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.